Welcoming to the virtual stage, Joe Duell of A World of Truth and Transparency, a new angle.
Wonderful. All right, thank you, John, for that lovely introduction. And hi all. Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you're having an absolutely phenomenal day so far. And oh, do I got a fire video for you. Because a lot of you in the comments have been asking me about my digital dream. And no, I'm just a lot on YouTube, guys. I really wanted to take this opportunity to do that. I'm really happy and honored to be here. And between you and me, I actually only got on this stage because I sent in my 2-minute clip for this talk with my baby Momo. And before you think that's a really weird name and you petty the child, it's just a dog, but I call it my baby. I'm a millennial after all, right? And I really want to use my time on stage with you today to inspire and enable all of you. But we'll get to that. The first off-topic learning point there is that bribery with cute puppies works. And I know we all assume that it would, but it's nice to see that in practice. And I actually was planning to bring out Momo on stage with me today. But just doing our ethics course, that's apparently not really what we're aiming for. So I'll leave that little football alone as he's sleeping right next to me. So now we're here and I've got all of you listening to me about my digital dream, right? So let's get into that, because my digital dream is not so much a vision or an endpoint. My digital dream is more of a vehicle that enables us to get where we want to go. Because my digital dream is that we are living in a world full of truths and transparencies. And let me try to get into that with a little story. So just imagine that hypothetical dog that's actually here. It's about 10 weeks old, just a few months ago, and we go out to the store to get him some food, right? So he's just a ball of energy, very excited in a new environment, and we actually get into a store that only holds food and toys for him, right? So he's going absolutely mental, and we end up in front of a wall which basically feels like 10,000 of food items that all explain that they're better than the next one, and I'm going frustrated. So after more time than I'm willing to admit, we pick out something that Momo really likes, and we get in the car, and I'm on the phone with my girl, and she's asking about our plans in the evening and if we actually can make it, because I drive something that Tesla, an amazing piece of tech that Tesla calls the car, which is a wonderful, but I'm losing twice the kilometers that I'm driving, right? So who knows if we're making our evening plans. So that story might not be as riveting as the new James Bond movie, right? I understand that, but it does really sound like a normal day to any of us, right? Now imagine that in that story, that in that normal day, picking out the food for Momo wouldn't be such a challenge, right? Because they're not all screaming half lies at us, and they have to be half lies because not all those options can be right. They can't all be better. Now imagine that the car that I have actually drives the way it is, the range it's marketed with, right? Imagine that those pills that I got online actually enlarge in the body parts that it says it does. Now, with that last one going really weird really quickly, and I'm sorry for that, but you've got to admit that all these lies we have on the web, on Facebook, in our stores, on TVs, they all fall in that same category, right? And well, that's my burning platform. Well, that's our burning platform, my colleagues, because we are surrounded with almost everything you can think of to buy, which is amazing. But making the right decisions and figuring out what we actually want to buy, right? Making that informed decision is a whole other story. And well, of course, we understand that organizations are out to get us to buy as much of their products as they can. And if that's news to you, I'm really sorry, but there you go. But it does reason why they would embellish the real nutritional value of their food or how far GAR can go on one tank. And so is that then the reason we're surrounded with all these untruths, all these lies? And that really must mean that we as a society, as our human beings, are evil, right? Well, no. the simple answer is no. And if you want to read more about that, Rutger Bregman wrote an amazing book called Humankind. Go into that. It's a lovely read, but the simple answer is no, we're not. No one thinks they're evil, and even as a collective, we are not. And we can leave out any of the other discussions that we can think to figure out how we got in this situation, because there's actually a pretty simple solution. All around the world, geniuses like you in the audience have long figured out that if you are annoyed with the organizations that you're buying from, that they're lying to you, well, just stop buying from them. It's really about follow the money. Our consumer decisions dictate the products that are being developed, as well as how they're marketed and sold. And I have a really nice illustration of this. So in Holland, we have something that's called bloated chicken, or plofkip in Dutch. So a bloated chicken basically is a chicken that never really gets the space to move around or stand at all. And it soon loses the ability to do so anyway, because it's being force-fed to literally blow up in size to have really cheap not much space consuming meat. So we became aware of that as a collective, as a society in around 2012. And by now, and we started buying other products because a lot of us didn't really agree with that process. So we started buying other products. And by now, around 80% of our supermarkets already do not sell bloated chicken anymore. And they, amongst themselves, have agreed to have it out of the stores completely by 2023. So whether you're on the side of the animal rights activist here, or you're on the side of you just want really cheap chicken meat, you cannot deny the power we have as consumers, because there was no regulations or law pushing the supermarkets to do this. It was our buying behavior making this happen. So let me spell this out for you. If we buy a product from an organization, we support them. If we don't buy a product from an organization, we basically punish them. So if you have values like please don't dump waste in the ocean, right? You shouldn't buy from organizations who do those kinds of things. And this principle won't only help me deal with my frustration in figuring out what food to buy, right? It will, understanding this buying power can and will also help each and every one of you to create the world around that you really want. So I want to use some of this time to walk you through a few examples that are only made possible by the digital world, right? Because that's where we link this to. So all these next examples use digital as a vehicle to enable us to make different decisions. So you can choose to spend your hard-earned cash on products and businesses that you actually believe in. So let's go into the first one, which is Asphalt, a clothing organization. So if you are frustrated that with the brands you're wearing, you cannot be sure that they're not being produced by little children in Bangladesh in horrendous circumstances, you can order your clothing or some of your clothing at Asphalt. They're completely transparent on where they source their products, how it's produced, and even on the whole CO2 impact it has being made as well as being shipped to your front door. A second one, which really goes into the food side of the world, is Too Good To Go. So if you are frustrated that 1/3 of the food that's being produced is being wasted, which is a ridiculous different topic on its own, join the app of Too Good To Go to get insights in the foods that are about to spoil near you. So you can buy those breads, those greens, or whatever those stores, restaurants, or even people have to share. It's really a community thing. So you can also share whatever you got, right? So if you already have your groceries delivered and you decide to go on a last-minute weekend trip, you can put them online and people can pick them up. And the nice thing, well, the added bonus on this is it's also cheaper buying your foods through Too Good To Go than in the stores. A third option you might want to use is Yuka. And Yuka is a free mobile app that allows you to scan the barcodes on your food and on your personal products, personal care products, and you instantly can see the impact on your health. So they have a rating, they give you some detailed information to help you understand what's in the product, but it also shows you the honest list of the products in there. So nothing is embellished, like, for instance, a lot of organizations do with palm oil. An added benefit there as well is that you won't be influenced by all that 40% less of this now in the product, right? Around sugars and all these kind of marketing tricks. And these, my friends, are just 3 examples of organizations leveraging the World Wide Web and our digital devices to provide us with options that we believe in, or otherwise compensate for the shortcoming of certain producers. And they're all made possible through our digital world. So the power is really in your hands. And let me be clear, it doesn't mean you have to change your lifestyle overnight. But it does mean that every time you choose to buy in accordance to your personal compass, you change the world a little, right? Every time you choose to spend your money, which is your money, it can go into the things that you want. And we all dream about having superpowers, right? And this buying power might not be Spider-Man stopping trains. And it might not be Superman lifting buildings. But we do easily forget that our day-to-day decisions actually impact the world around us. And every time you decide to spend your money more wisely, brands will notice. I mean, come on, they do. You know, they track everything, right? And that's my call to action. Every time you spend your money where your values are, you really get what you need. I, for one, will no longer buy dog food that doesn't come clean about its ingredients. I mean, Momo deserves better. Big thanks to everyone in the audience making this call happen, right? Big thanks to my buddy Sri and my mentor Ineke helping me prep for this session, and big thanks to John and Jeremy organizing and getting this all together. This is Joe at AdelsX signing off. Please remember to like and subscribe somewhere over here, I believe. It really does help. Leave your comments down below, and I'll see you on the next video.